Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Frankie Olivo. This is Sports Talk. Excited for today's show. We have with us Fred Villarreal, a pitcher with the Seattle Mariners organization, a Brownsville native. He went to Veterans High School, played college ball with the Houston Cougars. And like I said, he's a pitcher with the Seattle Mariners organization. How's it going, Fred?
It's going well, man. It's going well, real well. Yes, sir.
Glad to have you on. Thank you so much for accepting the invitation. Throughout this week, when I talked about, certain individuals about today's show, I got nothing but positive feedback. Excited for today's show, excited for your appearance, my man. So a lot of people are looking forward to hearing what you have to say, your experience, and and what it's like from a boy from Brownsville to be on the brink of possibly being on the mound in the big stage, man. How does that feel?
It feels great, man. But right now at this time, and now that I got to where I was trying to get, it's just like all of this happening is just like it's crazy because like I was so close to, I was there. How I just talked to you about on Friday the 13th in March. It could have been like a breakout for me, but on that same day they sent me home because of the coronavirus. But I feel like it's crazy what's happening right now, but I feel like I mean it'll have us all stronger at the end. I mean, we got hurricanes, we got shootouts, we got more real stuff happening, and right now I'm glad that NBA is trying to trying to speak out on this because it's not all about sports. And I mean, and I'm trying to preach that too. It's not all about sports, but since they have the platform to to say how they feel when it's in regards of their race, I mean, that's how it should be, you know.
Right. And talk to us a little bit about growing up. How was it like training in Little League and primarily in high school ball? How was your experience like?
Uh it was of course, as a kid, you're trying to do what you want to do as a kid, which is play Xbox, hang out with friends. But I was blessed to have a great father to just push me all the time. And I mean, he made me realize that I had an arm, and you just have to keep on practicing, and you have to. But by the time I was like 16, it was when I was already like, okay, like I have a shot here. Like there's not a ton of kids around me who like could throw as fast as I can around here. So I was like, I'm gonna just like keep on and see where this goes. Because when I was like in eighth grade, I was just trying, like, my goal in eighth grade was to make the varsity team. That's it. I didn't have any intentions to play pro ball, to play college ball. I was just trying to play varsity ball and have that huge jacket at school. That's legit all I had in mind. But you know, I am where I am, and yep.
How was it like throughout high school and then ultimately getting a call or getting talked about or speaking with representatives from U of H regarding you and the potential playing college ball?
Well, that was awesome. I mean, it wasn't only Houston though. It was plenty of other schools, but I was trying to choose. I was trying to, trying to have it easy on the family to, see me play. So I chose Houston, and it worked out well. But when I was playing travel ball with a team from Houston, I was actually the only kid on the team that hadn't chosen a school to play with. So that was also a reason why team schools were like, oh, this is the only guy in that team who hasn't chosen his schools. So And I played well. I played awesome, and I'm just glad that it all worked out. But of course, it was not a walk in the park. I had when I was young, just honestly, like it was just it's all in the mind. It's just like it's all it's a huge mind game, and it's a tough sport to play, especially when all eyes are on you, like, and that's like, but I love that though. I love when like y'all watch me, because I mean I've worked hard for this, so that's all it is for me. I mean, but it's been, right now, it's been a huge exam for me, because it's not easy. Because I'm so antsy, and I used to want to play out there. I want to do this, but we can't do anything.
Right.
Nothing. Yeah.
And, the reasons why I started this podcast was we don't really have a sports talk show
Yeah.
podcast in our area. So I thought it would be a great way
That was a great idea.
for athletes, people who love sports, for us to come and talk about what's going on, especially now with COVID. We have basketball, baseball starting. Basketball's in the playoffs. But also, Fred, a reason why I wanted to create this podcast was so we can showcase our local talent. You being a Brownsville native, Brownsville resident, I think it's important for the city, for the Rio Grande Valley, to hear about what Brownsville BISD has to offer. And I would like to take this time to recognize, Fred, some of our local athletes that have been allowed or given the opportunity, such as you, to play at the next level, and also, to recognize them on their amazing accomplishments. Let me bring it up very quickly. Our first athlete is Bianca Sandoval. Was a Pace Viking midfielder. She signed her intent to play soccer at Jarvis Christian College, an NAIA program in Hawkins, Texas. Ms. Sandoval was a 3-year starter that helped the Pace Vikings earn back-to-back District 32 5A titles in 2018 and 2019. During her sophomore season, the Lady Vikings had an undefeated district record. She earned all-district second-team honors as a junior and senior, and all-metro second-team midfielder. So congratulations, Ms. Sandoval. We hear that several, I'm not sure if it's Rio Grande Valley athletes or BISD lady athletes, are also playing college soccer there at Jarvis College. So we wish you nothing but the best. We hope to hear one day from your experience as a student athlete, going on into the next level. So we wish you nothing but the best.
Heck yeah. I mean, hey, and I'll preach on that too. Like, it's not what school you play for or like what level you play for. As long as you have the chance to play somewhere, that's a true blessing, like to play anywhere. So I love that, people are actually, having the chance to play. It's all about, having this exposure, and that's what out here, what we lack, but, congrats to her.
Fred, I got a question. What schools did you attend, and how old were you when you started playing?
Like what schools? As in, like, as I grew up?
BISD.
BISD across the street was Vermilion. Yep. And then it was Garcia, and then it was close to, I had all these heads trying to tell me what school. It was almost Hannah. It was almost Rivera. It was like, it could have been any school, but at the end I chose the school that was the furthest, which was Vets. It's about half an hour away from my house.
Hey, how is the competition, Fred, of coaches trying to recruit players to play for their program at the high school level? Is it intense?
It is intense, and if you're a great coach, you always have the inside scoop on like who is on the come up, like as an eighth grader or as a coach. I feel like in high school you really have to have the inside scoop. That's why I'm glad that you have this now, because it'll open some ears. And I mean, so like, yeah, for instance, if you're a high school coach, it's great to see and take some time. I know right now with all this happening, it's not going to happen, but if you see kids out there at parks, there's always that one kid in that team. Just have to have an eye on him, and then you'll see him prosper at some point. So, yep, that's
What
how it
was,
was.
if I may ask, what was it like? Did they approach your parents? Did they see you out in the field? And did they send somebody? What's the process like?
Well, the process for me growing up, it was they would always, I mean, teams would always see me practice, but I was not at that. Like, I grew up, I was not that good at all. So, but teams that were good would see me practice, but would not like offer to play in their team or anything like that. But I was always out there practicing, although I was not all that good until I was like 12. So it wasn't until I was like 12 where teams were asking me, hey, can you play in our team? Can you play in our team? And then when I was like 14, it was when, hey, we'll fly you out here. We'll pay for your hotel. We'll pay for your flight. We'll pay for all your food. We'll pay for all that when I was like 15. And then at 16, I got offers from schools.
Wow, that's pretty intense. I've always heard of coaches either, at all these West Brownsville, North Brownsville scouting. And I heard of stories where, hey, it's pretty competitive and they'll do anything possible to try and recruit that player to play for his program.
Exactly. That's just how it is, man. You just have to, it's like you're trying to sell a house. You just have to you have to say the right things. You have to feel first of all, the player has to trust you. Like you have to earn their trust quick. And, because and I've heard all kinds of things, but there's some coaches who will do whatever to recruit you. And then, when you're there, it's not the same. And but that's just how it is too. A coach has his job. That's his job to play, to, have their players, equipped to play well and to win. And of course, for that coach to keep his job. So, that's just how it is. That's just how it is. And if you're a coach and you recruit someone, I mean, okay, so I could say this because the coach that the guy that recruited me was isn't at Houston anymore, but he had recruited me, and he did everything to recruit me and everything. It was like, I mean, it was great. But then when I was there, he wouldn't say a word to me. But but it was also part of the reason that I was playing horribly in my first semester at Houston. I was playing bad, would not talk to me at all, nothing. But then when the spring came and the lights came on, hey Fred, how are you? How's your arm feel? Oh yeah. It's just how it is, man. But it's the truth, and it is what it is. You just have to play well. It's just how it is.
Awesome. I'd also like to recognize some other athletes that that deserve recognition. These four individuals, Fred, are recognized as the Lower Valley Athletes of the Year. We have Mr. John Abrego. Let me see if I can. Mr. John Abrego, the boys cross country from Homer Hanna High School. Go Hanna. We have Brandon Montes. We have Brandon Montes, who plays soccer at Porter. We have Denise Romero, a girls soccer player for Porter Cowboys as well. And we have Nico Alvarez, who's a swimmer at Veterans Memorial High School. Yeah. So congratulations to these four individuals. Fred, these were recognized as the Lower Valley Athletes of the Year. So again, from your family, from Sports Talk, from Mr. Fred Villarreal, congratulations. Wow. And keep up the amazing work.
Yes.
And Fred, what's your what's your advice to these individuals, Ms. Sandoval, who's going to play college soccer at the next level, and to these 4 athletes that were recognized as athletes of the year? What's your advice to them as they go through this process?
My advice to them, I mean, for me as a freshman, I mean, how it is, it's, you know, you're in a brand new environment, brand new people, everything's new. But the only thing that does not change is the field. The field does not change. And when my coach told me that, he's like, look, because at first I came to a point when I was a freshman that I was just like couldn't find it. But I've been playing well all my high school career, and we've seen that. But when I went as a freshman, my first semester, school and everything, you have to really just realize why you're there, the work you've put in, and just realize that the work and all that is there. The field hasn't changed. It's the same length of everything, but it's just a mind game. It's just like, you just can't worry about what people think, because when you do, you're afraid, and that affects how you play. And for me, that's how it was, because like I just was too worried and too like trying to be perfect on this and that, when I like came to like a point where I was like, what am I, like, I've been this and that and all this, and I can't even put a damn strike in there, like. And then from then it just, that changed everything. But that's all I have to say to these young athletes that are, it's a huge step. It's a huge step, and they just have to have a planner, have it all planned out, because at first I just went in and I was like, I got an exam tomorrow, I'm trying to play great today, just all these things in the head. But when you're in the field, you just have to have a clear head. And so you just have to have everything mapped out. And because if you're all like head on a swivel all the time, you're just gonna freak yourself out. And then, yeah, because I know that first freshman semester of mine, I was freaking my parents out, and I was just like trying to impress
Well,
everyone.
how,
But
how, how is it, Fred? Because we hear how freshmen, they miss home. Also, there is that distraction of partying, hanging out, doing things that they probably wouldn't do back home. How hard is it as an athlete playing at the next level? That's a question that our friend Luis Rodriguez has. What is it like playing beyond high school? Is it more of a mental focus? Is it mindset? Explain to us a little bit about that.
it is all, and I preach this with all my heart. It's all about who you surround yourself with and you hang around with. And it's all about being coachable. That's the main thing. When you're out there, you have to ask every question. You have to ask all the questions, ask questions, and surround yourself with people in your team who like are trying to strive for the exact same thing. When I was at Houston, I would hang out with like the people who were trying to get where I was. And well, they're playing pro ball too as well. So it's just like, you just have to choose your friends. And you know what, like, what are you trying to do in your life? Like, like, if you want it that bad, you would, put in the extra work, and you know not party. And it's a lot of, and then being an athlete out of school, it's just like, you got people who are like, hey, let's go party, bro, let's go do that. I'm like, man, I got practice tomorrow. I got, and being an athlete at school, I mean, you got tutors, there's a lot of things. So you really have to, choose wisely on who you hang around with and who who you surround yourself with, because that's all it was for me. I was just like, it's, yeah, exactly. That's just who you surround yourself with. That's it. You know.
Eric Cantu, what's up, Fred? Eric
Yes,
Kalani says, what's up?
Kalani. No, hey, you take a look at that name Kalani in like a few years, because this guy's like about, let's say, 6'1" and has an arm. So just
Future,
keep an eye
future,
on that
future
name.
prospect or what?
Yeah, no, I trained this guy, and he's
Wow.
a guy has a cannon,
Awesome.
flamethrower with a two-seamer like mine. Just watch out, because probably won't be talking about Fred no more. You'll be talking about this guy.
Well, Eric Kalani, hey man, you're learning from one of the best, Fred Villarreal, who, like I said, is on the brink of one day getting called up on the big stage. So we'll be looking forward to Kalani out there. Seeing, hopefully he'll be in the same direction as you, Fred. Another thing that I wanted to talk about, Fred, is in regards to BISD. La Jolla ISD, due to this coronavirus, decided to suspend their fall sports, cross country, football, and volleyball for the fall semester. What's your take on this? We see that BISD will be trying to have fall sports in October. The athletic director, Gilbert Leal, previously spoke about that they will do everything possible to have BISD playing fall sports. What's your take on the coronavirus and student athletes dealing with this? And if you could talk about our seniors, because that's one thing that I've heard a lot about. That our seniors, hey, it's my senior year. I want to play. This is what I've lived for all my teen years. If you could talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think it's not smart and it's not safe at all. And you're playing football. It's a contact sport. Like, I mean, and I'm not sure why it's happening, but all I know is that, well, I played football. I was also in cross country, and I know in cross country meets, you're surrounded by all the schools, and you're trying to have a convo with other players from the other schools, and it's a huge meet and everything. Um, and then with football, it's obviously a contact sport, but if I'd say it's smart to not play, because I mean, if we're trying to be safe here and trying to speed up this process, I mean, we're trying to like I'm trying to see the future and how quick we could get this like gone, and that's not, I mean, again, if you think about it, these kids come from households to a field that and it's not, you have to take in also the fact that they're coming from households of, I don't know how many, and who knows who've been like exposed to it, like, why, I mean, like, I'm not sure why it's happening, but if we're trying to like be safe and quick to all being like how it's supposed to be again, then we'd probably not have it, because it's just the smart thing to do. I mean, it's already the fall. It's already here now. So, we haven't found a vaccine, and why would we have this? And like, it's really the highlight of me playing football on a Friday night on the
Mhm.
background you got right now at Sam's. I would hear, yes, I would hear all the fans as I run. And that was like a highlight too. And, you know, is it worth these kids having no, like, hype up in the side with, their friends, family, and all, and all the random people want to come and support? It's not worth it. And if you were to tell me, if I were a senior in high school right now, I would not play, because honestly, I loved when people would come and watch me play, even if I wasn't all that. I mean, I was. I mean, I would. I would start, but I was only a corner, like, and a free safety. But um, the highlight was when I would hear all the fans cheer, and if you're playing that in a speaker, it's not going to be the same. So I feel like it's not safe, and if we're trying to get this, out of the way, you should not play a contact sport. Or if you're okay, I feel like it's okay with cross country because it's not like you're running and you push people out the way, but
Right.
when it comes to football, you know, that should be no, 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 no. Again, these you don't know like where who you don't know these families and who they've been, and it's also high school kids. I mean, they're out and about. They love to like, hang out with friends and all that, and you want them to play, a contact sport. I just feel like, it's not
And
smart.
the idea, Fred, that I've been hearing from some coaches is that a football season consists of regular season consists of maybe 4 or 5 scrimmages preseason, and then a good amount of district games.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes, that's what I
the
was.
idea the idea now of pushing the football games or the fall sports to October is that they will only have maybe 5, 6, 7 games against the Brownsville schools. So in essence, it would only be a limited amount of games, which again, in my opinion, and you stated this, very well, that there is that risk of close
Yeah.
contact. And the thing is that kids, these student athletes, they have to go back home. And some of us, I grew up with my grandparents. There's a possibility, Fred, that we might contract it on the football field, go back home, and then give it to our elderly family members who might not be as strong. They might
Exactly.
not have a strong immune system as we do, and I think that's the issue.
That's what, yeah, that is exactly, that is, you hit it right there. I mean, yeah, it's truth. I mean, these are high school kids who are probably not, that prone on being all, having the flu and all that. But how about, the families that, they come home to? Like, how about that? Like, yeah, you scored a touchdown, congrats, but now your grandma has corona. How's that feel? Like, I mean, that's not smart, but I mean, I am not, the athletic director yet, but that's because I have a contract. But I just hope that this man is watching this, so he could hear a 22-year-old's valid point, because health is wealth, man. I don't know what I mean. That's actually the first time I hear that. And wow, we're actually having fall. Like, this whole time I thought we weren't having fall sports, but we are.
I think this is something that might get pushed back because we have seen how BISD, as of right now, is doing distant learning until September 28th. And the idea is, they still haven't said it yet, but the idea is that they will go back to face-to-face instruction with the teacher after September 28th. And I think that's the mindset of the athletic director, that October would be the time where they could possibly have fall sports. But my opinion, Fred, and this is my opinion alone, I think they will be extending, I hope they will be extending the distant learning until possibly January, because we don't know how this is going to end up. We hear about the flu season coming around in September, October. We've heard from medical experts that have said that a second wave of coronavirus, that it could possibly be worse than the first. So again, I think this is the athletic director setting a tentative schedule for October. But my thing is that I do not think, the closer we get, I do not think we will be able to have fall sports, and that will be extended to possibly January, or possibly just canceling fall sports, in all.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, again, like, it's not like I do want to play, but I know that, it's not safe. It's not, I just sports is not everything, and I don't know why that's happening, but I just know that if we really want to play it safe and just, just have people with, or have Browns with a lot less cases, we should not have this because, again, there's a lot of kids who are playing football. There's a lot of kids. So, I mean, and then let's say, yeah. And then, so if you add all the family members they come home to, that would be a lot. That would be a lot. So, it's not smart and it's not worth it at all because I mean, we'll just see a rise. I mean, and I promise you, like we'll replay the show, after, but hey, I'm telling you, there will be a rise if that happens. But I mean, I hope, it gets pushed back a bit more until we find the thing is we still haven't even found like a solid vaccine that that's proven. So why are we gonna have high school sports if even the people and the pros are like having they're even like iffy about even playing in a game. And high school, is it worth it? No, it's not. Yeah.
Uh,
So
Now today, Fred, we got word that a member of the Oakland Athletics organization tested positive. Let me bring that up very quickly. The Oakland Athletics Astros game postponed after an Oakland positive COVID-19 test. The article states Sunday's game between the Oakland Athletics and Houston Astros was postponed after a member of the Athletics tested positive for the COVID-19 virus. And the Oakland Athletics released a statement stating, let me see. The Oakland A's learned today that a member of their organization has tested positive for COVID-19, and the Major League Baseball has postponed today's game in Houston at Minute Maid Park. The team conducted testing and contact tracing for the entire traveling party this morning and will self-isolate in Houston with recommended safety precautions in place. The A's organization and Major League Baseball will continue to provide updates as necessary. We have also heard, Fred, of the St. Louis Cardinals and the Florida Marlins players having a little outbreak within their ball club. You being a member of the Seattle Mariners organization, talk to us a little bit about how you got word of the coronavirus and how that interrupted your season back in March and April.
okay, so yeah, I mean, how I explained to you, I mean, yeah, so it happened, so I got the first word around March, and I was actually supposed to pitch on my first game on March the 13th with the actual club. And well, yeah, they were talking about the NCAA and the SEC and the all these conferences on trying to cancel their season. And I was like, and then that in March, or from the span in March was when I first heard about the word coronavirus. Yeah. So then I got sent home on the day I was supposed to pitch against the Dodgers. And then from then on, it's been, yeah, well, we know how it's been. So, I mean, yeah, that's when I first heard of the coronavirus. And it felt like it was yesterday. I mean, people at home watching could probably agree that these past few months have flown by, and it's felt like you could probably remember everything so clearly because, you know, I mean, I do. I don't know why. It's felt like the past 5 months have been, I mean, for people it could either feel like 5 years or I don't know. For me, it's felt like 5 days. I mean, but it's not easy. But I mean, it's not easy for everyone. And that's why I'm not sure why we're having sports. Like, I don't know why. It's not worth it. It's not, worth it at all with everything that's happening. It's not even the coronavirus either. It's a lot of things happening. You got hurricanes happening. You got social injustice happening. A lot of things are happening, so I feel like you should just pause everything and wait until it's all, until there's
So
a vaccine.
so just for our viewers to really, you were going to be pitching against the Los Angeles Dodgers
Yes.
for your first attempt for the organization to see you against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes. Now, if y'all want proof, y'all could. I posted a picture of a list where I'm at, and it's on my profile. It's somewhere in there. But yeah,
And did they have their lineup there with Turner and Bellinger on, or was it like the
no, it was just and so in our clubhouse they have a week just planned out, and they choose about like 4 players in like the whole like minors to play in that game. And
okay?
I saw my last name there, and I was like, someone must have the same last name as me. I was like, that's not me. And then I like asked, and then like, yeah, that's you. I'm like, oh damn. And then so it came. So that was planning to happen on Friday. Then Thursday came, and then everything was blowing up because I mean, yeah, in our clubhouse we have TVs everywhere, and so we were talking about Corona, and wow, it's not happening. That right now he should quit whatever's happening and send all the players home. So that's exactly what happened. I was supposed to pitch that day, and I got sent home that day. Man, that flight was probably the worst flight I've ever had in my entire life. Man, I was crying like a little girl, and I'm so glad I had a whole aisle like for myself, like a whole row. So I was just had my feet up, just contemplating life, and I was just like, man, here was my shot right here. And but you know what? If I'm that good, I'll have a shot again. So that's why I'm gonna keep working, and I'm gonna keep striving and not feel bad for what could have happened. But now I know that they see potential in me in that stage. So that's how I know for sure. I just have to stay locked in, even with everything that's happening, and stay focused and keep on keeping on, so like just I don't have room to, I mean, to feel bad, although at times I do. And because man, I got all the time in the world to feel bad too. Like I got time to work out. At times I'm like, man, what's going on? But that's all of us though.
Yeah.
And well, yeah, for the people at home who like feel, some type of way, and they're sad about what's happening, hey, you are not alone at all, because I feel that same way, and it's not easy at
You,
all.
Fred. I'm more than sure that you will get your opportunity again. It's unfortunate that you were right there, for them to cancel the game and cancel the season for y'all. But I'm confident with your hard work, determination, and more than importantly, man, you're very strong-minded individual. So rest assured that you'll get your opportunity again. And Brownsville is and has been rooting for you, my man. So hopefully take this as a lesson.
Yeah, of
That's a
course.
part of life. But we are more than confident that you will get another chance at the big stage, my man.
Yeah, well, but appreciate that, man. Yes, sir.
Let's talk about social injustice. You brought this up previously regarding the coronavirus, and you talked about the shootings that we had here locally a couple yesterday and day before yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. That there is more to life than sports. We saw how our NBA players decided to sit out during one of the biggest stage, Fred, the NBA playoffs. We see how many companies lost revenue because of this, because of advertising, Sports gambling lost some money. What's your take on athletes using their platform to talk about these the social injustice that we're going through in the U.S. We saw how NBA athletes, they decided not to play. They walked out of the stadium. Recently, Fred, we saw how WNBA players wore T-shirts of spelling out Mr. Jacob Blake's name, who was the African American who was shot by a white cop in Wisconsin, if I'm not mistaken, 7 times while his children were in the car. And this picture that I have up on the screen are the WNBA players, wearing a shirt that have 7 bullet holes on the back of their T-shirts. Talk to us about athletes. Should athletes use their platform to bring awareness to social injustices?
Yes, that's smart. I mean, that's what you should do. I mean, that's why, I mean, if you've worked that hard to, be where you're supposed to be just for like all that to happen to like your own race isn't right. So, I mean, man, I would do the exact same thing. I mean, it's not right. I mean, I saw a clip of a white man chasing a cop with like a knife or something, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Or yeah. And then you see the one of Blake. I mean, it's the guy was obviously like what I saw. The guy, okay, if it were planning to be a gun, you'd probably look in the glove compartment, which he didn't reach for the passenger. He went straight to what to me it felt like he was gonna just drive away. But I mean, even if he drives away, just chase him down, and that's just, we're seeing all these comparisons, how they treat white men to black, and it's obviously not the same. So, I mean, I feel like that's a smart thing to do. And, it's your own race. And I feel like LeBron is, on that. And I feel like it's been a tough year, and I've been thinking, what would Kobe do? Because I know he'd do something. I've been thinking about that so much, and I've been wearing his jersey around the crib so much. But like I've been thinking, like, what would Kobe do? Because I know that's why it hurts even more. Because I mean, we just lost Kobe, and it's his race, and like, what is happening. So of course, yeah, there's a lot more to sports. This is like, these are people who control the streets, and when people are afraid to leave the house, that's a problem. When we live in a free country, when land of the free. I mean, it's not right. It's not how it should be. But I feel like that's one thing that people just have to accept. If people want to watch, us athletes like play, they just have to, they just have to be equal, and you just have to treat people how they should be. And that's how it should be. Just treat people as you want to be treated. And if you're a cop, just do what you're supposed to do. And I don't know like why all this is happening, but I just hope that something happens, man.
We saw how back in the 90s, basketball player Charles Barkley stated, "I'm not a role model for kids. Their parents are role models." Now, how you just mentioned, now we have LeBron James, who is a global recognized athlete, and he has used his platform to bring awareness to social justice. As a professional athlete, Fred, what's your take? Because I've heard individuals say, you know what, Frankie, I'm glad that you started this sports talk, because this gives us an outlet, something to get away from, because we don't want to be talking about politics too much. What's your take on that? Are professional athletes role models for our youth today? And should the athletes talk about politics using their stage?
Well, yeah. Well, me personally, I hate to talk about politics because there's always one person who's just on me, and then it's just like, and then from there it keeps on. But one thing Michael Jordan chose to not do is talk about that.
Yeah.
And I know at the time with MJ, I think it was in Charlotte, North Carolina. It was the first black um, guy to run for Senate or
Yeah.
something in his office, and he chose to be silent and not, promote him. But he simply just said, "I'm just here to play ball." Like that's, I mean, I feel like we shouldn't talk about that because that's not our lane, but we should talk about equality, and that's how it should be. I don't know a lot about politics, and that's why I don't want to know about politics, because there'll always be one comment saying, "Oh well, you're wrong. There's gonna be this and that," and then there's gonna be a lot of people, and that's why I don't. I I know my purpose in life, and that's to just spread great vibes to people, and the short life. But when it comes to politics, that's not my lane, and I just but when we're talking about equality and trying to treat people fairly, then that I will preach, because that's what it comes to. Like, you just have to treat people fairly. That's how it is. But when it comes to politics, I won't. Yeah, I won't hop into that because there's always someone. Well, I don't know about that. Yeah, no, and that's why you see. Here's where you're wrong, and then they go off with
Yeah.
a huge novel that I don't want to read. So that's why I'm not gonna. Yeah, that's why I don't
Awesome.
really. At first, I'll be like, what? I'd go, and then there's always like 5 comments, and then I'm like, not gonna do that ever again. I'm just not gonna. Yeah. So when it comes to that, but again, like, I feel like with athletes, they should preach being equal, and it's just being nice to each other, man. Like, if you're a cop, you should love to be a cop and not be in, like, oh, I was about to say the A word, but you can't. PG-13, but
PG.
just, yeah. So yeah, I mean, with me, I will preach equality, but I will not, take a side on the whole politics thing. So
Awesome. Well, that's a great answer, my man. Also, today we do have the NBA playoffs going on. We have the Celtics and Raptors. The Raptors are favored to win by 2, and right now the score at halftime, guys, the Celtics are up. Oops, where am I? The Celtics are up 59-42. So that's going to be a game to be watching. The Clippers and the Mavericks, they play after the Celtics Raptors at 2:30. The Clippers are favored to win by 11 points. And the Mavericks, guys, they will be without Porzingis, who tore his meniscus yesterday or the day before. So the Mavericks will only have Luka to lead them throughout the rest of the playoffs. So let's see how they will do. And the evening game is the Nuggets and the Jazz at 7:30, with the Utah Jazz favored to win by 3. Fred, what are your picks for today's lineup?
today I'm going with the Celtics, Clippers, and Jazz.
So the Clippers and Jazz, in your opinion, will close out the series today.
Yes. I feel like, Kawhi is just gonna find he's gonna find something today. I promise you that. He has to. He has to.
The game to watch, and I agree with you. I think without Porzingis, it's going to be very hard for the Mavericks to be competitive. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if Luka, puts it all on his shoulders and leads them to
Yeah.
victory. But it's going to be very hard. But I think, Fred, the game to watch is going to be tonight's game, the Nuggets and the Jazz. That guy Murray, man, he's been tearing it up.
Young, and
he's young from
young.
Kentucky, and he's a 3-point shooter. He could drive. He's just an overall amazing player. So I'll be going against you on this one, Fred. I'll say that it goes to a game 7 with the Nuggets pulling it off tonight. So it will go to a game 7 in my opinion.
Yeah.
We saw yesterday, Fred, how Milwaukee beat Orlando. So now Milwaukee will be playing the Miami Heat. Also, we saw how the Lakers, they beat the Portland Trailblazers last night. So they will be either facing, in my opinion, the Houston Rockets, who I think will close out OKC. What's your take, Fred, on Milwaukee and Miami, the next series coming up?
Milwaukee, I feel like I think it was a game last night where Giannis was like crying in the anthem.
Yeah.
I feel like that guy is just gonna control. I mean, the guy's an absolute animal. That guy, it will do whatever to win. So I feel like I will go with the Bucks for sure. So yeah, that's because I mean I saw a play yesterday. I saw highlights of yesterday. That guy's an animal. I mean, and a guy's an absolute animal. So
Hey, Fred, what sports has the rowdiest players? Rocco wants to know.
That's a great question. That's actually a very great question. Rowdiest.
I'll say soccer, guys. Those
I would for sure say soccer. Oh my god.
Hey, they light up
Centro.
Players and stuff, and they go crazy.
They go off, yeah. So yeah, that goes. Hey, that's what I'm saying. Cancel fall sports, and then we find one thing, and we're all healthy. We could at least watch soccer. And yeah, but I would say soccer.
No. Raptors, Clippers, Jazz today. All right. So, Martinez has Boston, Dallas, and Denver. Wow, he's got Luka. Coach Martinez has Luka carrying his team today. Let's see how that goes.
We're gonna see. I don't know.
Miami beats the Bucks. Wow, Rocco's calling an upset. Fred, what's your take on that? The Miami Heat gave a lot of problems to the Bucks this season. So will Jimmy Butler be able to, take it to Giannis? It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good series.
Well, the thing is, it's just like, it's in any sport, in any game. There's always upsets. There's always upsets because at times when you're playing against a great team against like a lower team, it's always that great team that at times soups up to that level of playing, and then they compete against each other and they might lose. So that's why, I just had a hunch about these teams. I'm sorry if I offended people. I'm sorry. I'm not a diehard fan. I don't play that sport, but again, yeah, and I'm not placing any bets, so we're all good.
Lakers Raptors final. That should be an interesting one. So he has the Raptors coming out of the East. Yeah. I can see that happening. Rocco says international soccer players, they cuss a lot. Yeah. And they have like flares. I don't know if you ever seen like fires at the games. Like, yeah, they're climbing the fences. They go all out.
That is true, but right now you can't do that. We don't got any fans.
No fans in the stadium. Giannis is overrated in the Eastern Conference Finals. What do you think? You think he's overrated?
Ivan, I'm not an NBA analyst, bro. I don't like what, man. Look, it says right here. Baseball. There you go. That's my opinion. I love yours.
Fred, what was the biggest challenge being a Brownsville player at U of H?
I chose Houston also because there was there was plenty of like all kinds of races. We got Asians, blacks, and all that. So I knew that would not be like a problem at all when it came to like people being racist or anything. Like in our team, we legit had every race. We had like half of our team. No, it was like about 5 players were black. Like we had a couple Asians, whites. Yeah. So like I knew that was not gonna be a problem. But my challenge was when I was a sophomore and I tore something in my rib and I was out for like half the year, and then I came back and I couldn't throw a strike. So I knew I had to come back stronger my junior year, and that's when it all happened, and I played well. I was a closer. I mean, and I just had to find myself, and that was that was probably my lowest point in my life, my sophomore year at U of H, because I was hurt, my mind was not right, and then when I was healthy, I came back, I couldn't put a strike in there, so yeah.
If you became a high school baseball coach tomorrow, Fred, what would be the best advice you would give your players that you learned in college or at the pro level?
Control what you can control. That's it. Control what you can control. And what you can't control, then do not worry about it. If you can control, I just control what I can control, and I can control my effort, my enthusiasm, and how I treat all of my teammates. So, yeah, control what you could control. You can't control the weather. You can't control what's happening around you, but you can control how hard you go, and you can control how you practice. So that's what I would say right off the bat.
Are you a Nike fan? What do you like to wear? I have a story here that says that Neymar is reportedly leaving Nike to join Puma. We have seen how Puma have been trying their best to, dethrone Nike. Nike has monopolized the sports world with their product. So now we see Puma trying to target. I think they have Kuzma, they have Embiid, Joel Embiid as one of the biggest stars, wearing their product. So now they have Neymar, who is a world recognized athlete, who will be joining the Puma family. What's your take on this on what product you like to wear, Fred?
Well, the product I've been handed for free since I was in college was Nike. Oops. I don't know if it's even here. No. Oh, yeah, it's right here. Yeah.
There you go.
So it's been them. And, I know like in the past they had what was that people were like flaming their shoes on fire? Like, what was that about? I'm trying to remember when people would I'm not sure what it was, but people would light up shoes that were from Nike on fire at some point, but I'm trying to remember why that happened.
Could it be because of the stories that they hear about the children who they're working long hours, that they don't get paid adequately?
I think it was something about that, but I know because of that, it kind of I think it happened because Colin Kaepernick, he lost his contract with them because of how he was taking a knee on the field.
Okay.
So,
but didn't they sign him to a shoe deal?
Yes. So I think that could have sparked that, and I think that's why right now, because now they're seeing that Colin Kaepernick was right, and now people are like, all right, I'm going to leave Nike because this guy was right. That could be why. I'm not sure. But that's my theory. I think I might be right. If I am right, well, but it might be.
Hey, Fred, best all-time Vets team versus the best all-time Lopez team. Who wins?
We win because I'm on the mound, and you're not going to touch me.
And how many strikeouts, Fred? And how many innings you'll be pitching?
I'll pitch the whole game and close it out too.
How many Ks? How many Ks?
I'd say 12.
12 Ks on the fence.
But the thing is, that's not even me being I'm just being real, because I was Man, it's just that, okay, long story short, when I was playing football, I broke my thumb, right? Because I was trying to block because I was playing receiver. I broke my thumb on my right hand, so it's crooked. Oh, it's like crooked. So now my ball moves. It's a two-seamer, but it moves like a sinker now. So every time I throw a fastball, it moves inside, and it's caused me to break a lot of bats. And yeah, so that's not what you should try at home, kids. Do not break your thumb. But I'm just saying that you know, plus having the arm that I have, I just couldn't be touched. But hey, why? Okay, who asked that? I mean,
Rocco Brown, our friend
well,
Rocco.
let me ask you this: who's playing right now from them, or who played after high school from that team? I mean, I'm curious, like, but it's
Fred
the
wants
answer.
to know the talent at Lopez that he would be
Yeah,
facing.
yeah. I'm asking, like, where did these guys play, or are they playing anywhere? Sunday League. I'm just trying to see if he's gonna reply, because I mean I haven't heard of.
I hope he's still on, but we're already past the hour, Fred. Any last words for our sports talk family out there?
Um. Uh. Hey, if you're an athlete watching this, hey, keep on grinding, and even if it won't, even if you won't play this year, it's all good, because we're all in the same boat, and just keep on grinding, and be great to your parents, because you'll probably have a lot of time with them, and wear a mask, please. Um, uh, that's all I got. That's all I got. And I'll keep on grinding too. I'm not, just because I'm like on the verge of almost, being where I want to be, does not mean that I've been complacent, or, uh, content. I will always keep on working and rep for Brownsville, and we'll always want to, we'll always talk about Brownsville in a great way. And I will, one day we'll be a Brownsville powerhouse in every sport. This guy,
Uh,
I
he said Pita played pro ball, minor league, West Coast for Lopez. The name sounds familiar.
no, I'm actually close friends with him, and I know he's good, and I know he was good, but you just can't have one great player in one team. Our shortstop played somewhere. My my second guy played somewhere. We had a couple of people play.
Great
Thank you,
confidence, Fred.
Rocco Brown.
Best of luck
Appreciate
moving
you.
forward.
But yeah, I
Uh,
mean, I just want to, tell all the athletes out there that, we'll get through this, and you are not alone. And I appreciate you having me here, brother.
Oh,
It was a pleasure.
it's my pleasure, man. Thank you for taking the invitation. I just want to say it's very important for us to, showcase individuals like yourself, because they are athletes, Fred, here locally that look up, to you, and we need to hear, what your life was like, your training, how you prepare, because like how we said, you're at the doorstep of possibly getting that phone call to go up to the major leagues, my man. So again, thank you so much for, talking to the athletes, letting them know what it takes to play high school ball, what it takes to play at the college level, and then, to be in the minors and possibly getting that opportunity to play, on the biggest stage that there is. So thank you for the chance to speak with us, letting us know, how things are going right now. It's very important. It's very important for our community to understand that we're still dealing with this whole COVID-19 crisis. It is my opinion that we shouldn't have fall sports, that we shouldn't have sports for this year, period. And it's hard for me to say this, Fred, because I'm an avid sports fanatic. I love sports. The only thing I don't watch are cricket and hockey. Everything else I watch. So, but I think it's important for us to make sure that our health is our health and safety are our number one priority, and our athletes should focus more on academics for this upcoming year. Thank you so much, Fred. Once again, thank you, world, for being patient with us. Next week, guys, we will be showcasing Jason Garcia's Memorial Scholarship. Mr. Garcia's 4-year anniversary of his passing is coming up in October the 10th. So we'll be talking a little bit about the great things that his scholarship have given back to our community here in Brownsville and in Donna. So next Sunday's show would be on Mr. Jason Garcia and his friends, his mom, and his amazing scholarship that he helps our local athletes with. Pira beat Beto Mague Holguin. Best wishes. Oh, those are the Lopez standouts. I'm assuming Pira, Beto, Mague, Holguin. Best wishes. Thank you so much, guys. Fred, thank you so much, my man. Let's make this. Let's do this more often, man. Let's see how we can do this.
All right, perfect. That sounds like a plan, brother.
Sounds good. Goodbye, world.